Well, this is Boyd the Broker. You know, I suffered a major stroke in 2021. Now I've become an example of what can be accomplished with dedication, family, and above all, hope. I'm willing to discuss anything so that others will find inspiration to recover as well as I have. Okay, Boyd the Broker, podcast of real estate wealth and wellness. You got to admit, this is Bob, and you got to admit, real estate wealth and wellness, holy crap, like that, what does that not cover? That covers everything. Covers surfing, covers work, covers vacation, pretty much everything. Now, this is the first time I've met Bob, but I was on my balcony, what's it been, about almost 2 years ago, and there was a big swell. This is right around, I think it was in January, and I saw a dude getting towed in Manhattan Beach, and I used to live in Hawaii, so we'd see it there. That was the first time I ever seen it, and I filmed it and then put it online, and then everybody says all these different things, and then I get a message from Bob saying, that was me, I was driving. So tell us a little bit about that day, because that looked really cool. You know, I had like over 1 million views on that. Maybe even close to 2 million, I think, actually. Oh, yeah. Not many people have seen that. And you were the man. You were the jet ski driver. So tell us.
The funny thing is, I mentioned to you that day that particular swell, I was the biggest swell that's ever hit Southern California, hands down. Not that day in particular. It was a couple days before that the swell peaked. And a buddy of mine and I were always looking for, that day. And a couple days before, we had towed out all the way out where the tanker is, and the viewers can't see that, but it's about a mile and a half plus out. And we were catching waves that people on the shore were kind of judging the size, and they were calling 30, 35-foot faces out there. And that's just never happened here. And I don't know, swell got a lot of coverage, and it was a big deal. But once the swell calmed down a little, it moved in here to the beach break over here, and it was, wasn't enormous. It was triple overhead or so. And my buddy Pat is a great surfer. He's a Nazare guy, if you're familiar with Nazare, and surfs gigantic waves in the Atlantic. And I'm kind of a Mavericks guy, and so we brought it here to the home and towed into a few waves. And we got the okay from the lifeguard, which was cool because you can't bring a jet ski in certain areas, and so it was kind of a different day. But yeah, it was a lot of fun. I was unable to surf that day because I had tweaked my back out a few days before. So I was driving. Honestly, driving is almost as much fun as surfing, because it takes a lot of skill to put the surfer in the exact right place. So it was a great day.
You got to know what to do. There's no doubt.
For sure.
When I lived in Maui, I knew all the boys. I actually sent that video to my Maui boys looking for who it was, and they didn't know who it was. So really cool. And you used to do real estate, I guess. But no more, right? You retired, and then you said you had some hedge fund stuff.
Well, yeah, I grew up in the Palisades, and that's another story because obviously we know what happened there. But went to SC, and I moved down to the South Bay in '91, and raised my family in Manhattan Beach in the tree section. And I was a wholesale trader on Wall Street, and that was really my career. And I tried to retire in around 2010ish, and I got real bored and didn't want to go back to that stress. So got my real estate license, kind of like really blew up El Porto as kind of the El Porto realtor, and did that for 6 or 7 years, and kind of decided I got enticed back to my first love, which was trading. And so I did that for about 4 years. I'm basically retired now. So, yeah.
Did you recognize my name? Did we do some business back in the day? Because El Porto was... I did a bunch in El Porto. Remember George Little? How about that for a name? Remember his buddy George Little and some other guy owned like 10 of those half lots with the closets, with the hole in the closets, right?
Yeah.
Bob knows exactly what I'm talking about.
Well, I think that might have been a tiny bit before I got there, because I did one of my big ins. So we went through the real estate licensing process. You get these, you get the training and you get the coaching on, okay, these are ways to make things work. Some people are sending people notepads and this and that, and you've got a great marketing thing here. So everybody has, the way they reach the public. And I remember him distinctly saying, if you can bring something of true value, well, everybody wants to bring the value of selling, but to make those contacts, kind of happened that luck when opportunity and preparation meet, which is that old saying. I bought a house over here in El Porto. I lived on the Strand for a while, and I bought a house here a few houses back, and there's a plethora of wires in front of my 180-degree ocean view. And I remember at the time I wasn't licensed yet, and I asked John Altamura, I'm like, what's up with these wires? And he goes, oh, they tried to get this going in 2007. It's never going to happen, blah, blah, blah. I'm like, no, it's going to happen now. So this was 2012 or 13. I began the process, and they told me, no, it's dead. It's never going to happen, blah, blah, blah. About one day I get a call from the city and go, hey, we saw your email from months ago, and he said, we're actually starting the process up. Not one person in El Porto knows this. I know this. So I'm like, ding. So I go out, hit all the doors, and say, hey, it's starting up. Do you want to get informed? And it went from that to me carrying the ball of undergrounding all the way through to the present, which it's in its final days, I hope. It's almost finished. But that was my in. And so as I became kind of a community guy, and so it morphed from that to they were going to put the really expensive polluting desal plant right down here. So we fought that. So it kind of morphed into me becoming sort of the community guy here. And I'm not in the business anymore, and I still do the stuff because I like it. So, I feel good because a lot of people, I think, thought maybe it might have been disingenuous. Some people accuse me, oh, you're just trying to sell houses. And at the end of the day, no, I just want to live in a great community with great people. And I do. So really lucky.
Exactly. Yeah. You nailed it. You nailed it. And you're in the water today. You're in the competition today, right?
Unfortunately, I'm not. I hurt my back a number of years ago, and which is one of the reasons why I tow, because I can't really paddle much anymore. So you lived in Hawaii. You know what a paipo is, right? Sure. So I ride for people who don't know, there's a finless surfboard called an alaya, and a paipo is half of one of those that you ride on your stomach. And when I first got it, my wife got it for me, and
that's pretty cool.
It's super cool. And she's telling me, oh, like this is great, and we it's something to go out and hang out. It went from a shore break toy to I'm flying down to Puerto Escondido and riding like triple overhead waves on it. It rides much differently than an actual bodyboard. I've never bodyboarded, but you can really surf on it. It's super fun.
I've seen guys do that.
Yeah. It's a lot of fun.
No doubt.
You get barreled. I get barreled every time I paddle out, which that was a twice a year occurrence when I was a surfer. So
there's the stoke. You got it.
Yeah.
Well, man, what a pleasure. I got to meet Bob. Bob Sievers. Holy crap. Awesome.
Well, thanks.
Cool.
Appreciate it.
Appreciate you coming on.
All right, for sure.
I'm Boyd the Broker. I appreciate you tuning into my podcast. I live in the real world. Where do you live?